Order crackers and milk. I'm your host, David. I'm joined by Jacob and Michael.
What's the matter, Dave?
I don't know, man.
You talking all like in a whisper. And...
Oh, sorry. Jacob, I did it for a second season. Jacob has our synopsis for
I bet you folks don't know what we're going to do.
Nope.
But I can tell you, it's Star Wars episode. What is that? 6?
6.
Return of the Jedi.
The blanket is Return of the Jedi blanket.
Yeah. Look,
wonderful.
You like our background? All right. Luke Skywalker battles horrible Jabba the Hutt and cruel Darth Vader to save his comrades in the Rebel Alliance and triumph over the Galactic Empire. Han Solo and Princess Leia reaffirm their love and team with Chewbacca, Lando Calrissian, the Ewoks, and the androids C-3PO and R2-D2 to aid in the disruption of the dark side and the defeat of the evil Emperor.
And yet he comes back.
Does he?
Yeah, this laugh. You never know, right?
Maybe.
No one ever dies. Okay, 1983. Came out in 1983. The top 10 was 1, Return of the Jedi, which made $475 million. 2 was Terms and Endearment.
Endearment,
yes.
3 was Flashdance. 4 was
She's a maniac. Trading Places is hilarious.
Trading Places. 5 was War Games.
Matthew Broderick.
6 was a James Bond movie. 7
Which
was
James Bond movie?
Octopussy.
Yes.
7 was Sudden Impact.
7 was what? Sorry?
The Sudden Impact.
I don't think I've heard of that.
8 was Staying Alive.
The sequel to Saturday Night Fever.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That was a sequel?
Mm-hmm.
9 was Mr. Mom. And then 10 was Risky Business at $63.5 million. And I'd like to point out X-Men Apocalypse. They came out of the movie theater and they said, "Oh, the third one always sucks." And that was the third X-Men movie, so I laughed at that because it was funny.
Yeah.
And they were walking out of Return of the Jedi.
They walked out of Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Wow.
But they weren't a kid when they saw it, so they didn't like the Ewoks.
Of course.
The Ewoks.
Aren't they like a plague upon the Star Wars? Don't people look at them as that?
How dare you?
If
you were an adult when you saw it, you might think of that, but...
Yeah, people think that. Some people think that. No,
I don't.
I don't.
I wanted to be an Ewok.
I thought they were cute little teddy bears.
I love
Who
the
ate
Ewok.
the stormtroopers.
Yes, they did. Mike has our
financials. All right, so Star Wars Episode 6. We already know that's what we're talking about. I like how I'm repeating information. So if you haven't listened to it before, I'm going to do the stats of the box office of 1983 compared to the times of 2019. So the budget was $32.5 million or $83 million. Opening weekend, they generated $23 million or $59 million. So that's pretty good. $32 million.
That was probably the best opening out of all of the first 3, right?
Yep. They made a lot back. The gross total in the United States was $309 million or $796 million. And then the worldwide total was $475 million or $1.2 billion, which is kind of interesting. $309 million in the U.S. and $475 million worldwide. It didn't make much more.
Yeah.
And then the budget of $32.5 million and the profit of $475 million resulted in a profit of 1,463%.
That is going down.
It keeps going down.
Huh. More competition?
So there's a website that I could pay money for, and I really don't want to, but I kind of want to see, that does show you all the all the profit they made from Blu-ray and DVD and VHS sales.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if, people are like, oh, well, I'll just get it when it comes out. Maybe. Or I'll watch it in the theater and I don't have to watch it 10 times because a lot of people did that back then. They were like, I watched it 8 times in the theater.
Yeah. Because they never knew when they would be able to watch it again.
Yeah. So now VHS comes out. Hey, I'm just going to go.
When did VHS come out?
VHS and Beta. Beta came out in...
It was the 80s.
Yeah,
80s, early 80s?
Yeah, early 80s.
I remember being really little and going, and my mom would rent a VCR.
Yeah,
rent
would too.
It. Yeah. So anyway, I'm wondering if that's why maybe this are going down, but I'm sure that they're still making lots of money off of DVD sales.
They're still making
digital
money today.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Welcome to Interesting Facts of Return of the Jedi. It is cool that this one was filmed in California. I thought that was really interesting.
Yes.
In the Redwoods.
And Arizona.
Mm-hmm. Arizona. In the desert scene?
I'm just saying that they had different locations for filming.
Oh. Well, yeah, like...
most movies do.
Yeah.
Most movies.
Wait, is this the Star Wars Canyon movie?
What do you mean the Star Wars Canyon?
Do you guys know about Star Wars Canyon?
No.
It's really cool. So it's in California, so I'm guessing that's probably it. Star Wars Canyon is where they film fighting scenes, whatever, jet fighters, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a real thing, and every day the Air Force practices there. Oh. And so you can go to the top of this ridge and watch F-16s and F-18s and F-22s and F-35s and C-130s. If you look on YouTube, look up Star Wars Canyon. It is freaking amazing.
Is it just the Air Force, or is it all the service branches?
It's the Air Force. It's basically the Air Force, but like RAF, they go out there and train.
Okay.
So
the Royal Air Force.
Royal Air Force. Yeah.
The
Star Wars Canyon, like I didn't. Do they do a canyon in this movie?
I don't remember.
Or is it just they just call it Star Wars Canyon?
No. They shot. Sorry, everyone. I don't remember what Star Wars episode it was, or if it was all of them or none of them.
Yeah.
But they shot in 4, 5, or 6 in Star Wars Canyon. That's why it's called Star Wars Canyon. Maybe I'll look that up.
Yeah, you're going to have to look that one up.
Supposedly in Redwood National Park, you can still see some wreckage from the speeders.
Really?
I can tell
Supposedly.
Supposedly, because I never saw it. And we walked all over Redwood National Park.
Just looking for it?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Massive trees.
Is that cool?
Yeah.
I've never been there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So my aunt, not to go too far off on a tangent, my aunt lives in Roseburg, Oregon.
Okay.
And she considers the Redwoods a part of the Oregon tour.
Oh.
Even though it's in Northern California.
Yeah.
It's still within striking distance of...
Yeah. See, that's cool that they did that. Like, they did it there, and then it's the tour, man. That's way cool.
Yeah.
What did you guys like about this movie?
So, I love Return of the Jedi. When I was a kid, I wanted to be an Ewok.
You did?
I wanted to be an Ewok.
I get that. I had the Ewok village.
I had
awesome.
I had the stuffed animal Wicket.
Yeah.
With his little hood.
Yeah.
I would take the hood off and put it on myself.
Nice.
I love this movie.
Was this your favorite movie for a long time and then eventually turned to 5?
More than likely. Subconsciously, I can't really answer that because I don't know. I just always said The Empire Strikes Back is my favorite movie. Yeah. But I love Return of the Jedi. I mean, you get to see Luke use the most powerful force ever, kick somebody without actually touching them, and then flying back. It happens. But Jabba was just this big, ugly, green slug thing. He's not green, but
part of it is green, that sort of thing.
But that's what's so sucky about the remastered of A New Hope is you get that scene with Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah.
And he just looks so bad.
Yeah.
In that, where he's an actual animatronic puppet in Return of the Jedi.
Mm-hmm. They do a good job in Return of the Jedi. They make him like a bad guy, like a really good bad guy. And then like one of the other action figures I had was the Green Hog.
Oh yeah,
the one the
guards at Jabba's palace.
I really liked them. I had some of those action figures, which is strange. I don't know how I got those, but I like that.
And ever since, as a kid, I've really enjoyed metal bikinis. So,
yeah, I get that.
Well, my friend would kill me, but she dressed up like that for Halloween. It was amazing.
Yeah,
it was like spot on, amazing.
You have to be very confident to pull that off.
Yeah, you definitely do.
Okay, so update to Star Wars Canyon. It's called Rainbow Canyon.
Okay.
And it got nicknamed after Star Wars came out as Star Wars Canyon because it looks like Tatooine because of the rocks. So nothing was shot there.
Nothing was shot there. Okay. Thank you for clearing that up.
Yeah, I'm glad I cleared that up. I can just see the comments now.
Who was the director of Return?
You think
of the Jedi?
Sheena would say something?
Probably.
Oh, yeah, she totally would say so.
Yeah.
She would be like, wait, that doesn't sound right. I'm going to look that up and comment.
You guys got this wrong.
That's so wrong.
So wrong.
So, director is Richard Marquand. Interesting about him, too.
Yeah, what's in...
Okay, so let me get to where they're looking for a director. Okay, so... As with the previous film, Lucas personally financed Return of the Jedi. Lucas also chose not to direct Return of the Jedi himself and started searching for a director. Although Lucas's first choice was, anyone?
The guy who did Empire?
No.
Steven Spielberg.
Yes, Steven Spielberg. However, their separate feuds with the Directors Guild led to this being banned from him directing the film.
What do you mean feuds?
I guess there was a Directors Guild thing happening, and
if you know, tell us.
Yes, put that in the comments.
Wait, Lucas and Spielberg were at a feud right now?
No,
they were having a feud with the guild.
Yeah, so maybe they weren't agreeing on contracts.
Yeah.
I don't know. It didn't go into detail.
Why didn't Spielberg ever direct one of these things?
Because he was directing Indiana Jones.
So
I don't know.
Raiders of the Lost Ark came out in between the Empire and
Return
of the Jedi.
And Spielberg was the principal director for that one, right?
For Raiders of the Lost Ark? He was the director,
Yeah.
He was the director?
George Lucas was the producer.
Yep.
Okay.
So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So then he went to anyone?
His professor.
No. David Lynch. No idea who that is. Me neither. Who said he had, quote, next door to zero interest. That's how zero interested he was. He was next door to zero interest.
Oh, wow. He did not want to touch this film.
He didn't want to do it.
Which could be 100%. I mean...
right?
If you live next door to
zero,
I mean, it could be any number.
Right.
If percentage, live all on the same street, you don't know.
Yeah. It could restart, like how the...
Yeah.
Where it's 0, then 100.
Then 100. Then he asked David Cronenberg. He declined because he was making Videodrome. Anybody have idea what Videodrome is?
No.
Okay, see, I knew Jake would know.
Is that a good movie?
I've never seen it. I just know what it is.
Okay.
Then he went to Lamont Johnson, who also declined. This is what's crazy. He went through all these people. It's like...
Lamont Johnson, why did he decline?
It didn't say.
Oh.
Then they went with a guy named Richard Marquand. And same with Richard. There's like, he barely did anything. There's nothing... It's not like he was anybody special. Which leads me to think, again, George Lucas wants to be in charge, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I'm going to find this director... Like, if Spielberg's not going to do it, I'm going to go to these guys that nobody knows about.
This makes sense because Return of the Jedi is not as good of a film as Empire Strikes Back. It's just not.
Right.
The story's not as good. Parts of it are awesome.
Yeah.
But think about all the things that we talked about in The Empire Strikes Back. It was that director.
Yep.
George wasn't the master, the emperor of...
Right.
And so he found a no-name director
Yep.
to do Return of the Jedi. So his vision would be his.
Seeing that, like...
And that's why Han Solo doesn't die in this.
And so here's what's interesting, too. Director, well, they got... So the producer from 4 and 5 left, Gary Kurtz, because he was up... This is what he said. He said, partly it was a problem of George changing his mind and wanting to do a more action-adventure roller coaster ride like Indiana Jones rather than continue the story that we had set up in The Empire Strikes Back. Mm-hmm. So, producer leaves, the director leaves, new producer, new director, and the new producer, his name's Howard Kazanjian. Man, he sounds like a pretty good guy. Like, all the stuff that he did, he was a good producer. Yeah. He sat down with George Lucas. They made sure we're going to get this right if we're going to do it the way you want it. So, and maybe it's not really the producer that was. It sounds like maybe George is like, I want to make sure you do what I say.
Yeah.
And we're going to get this director. So they spent 2 weeks in a conference discussing ideas to construct it, the movie, and then the schedule pushed shooting to begin a few weeks early to allow ILM more time to work on the film's effects and post-production.
Yeah, I've actually seen a making of The Return of the Jedi. It's amazing some of the stuff they pulled off.
It's crazy. But they saved, just by having ILM, $18 million instead of having another place do it.
Yeah.
So, interesting. Yeah, it's fun to talk about this and see this.
Yeah, the story starting to behind the story.
Yeah.
Behind the music.
Behind the music.
With crackers and milk.
And I think that's like what you said. I think it totally does back up your saying where he didn't understand the movie. He didn't understand. He only understood the New Hope, and then everything else he didn't understand. Mm-hmm. And then, to me, he got kind of like what I said in the first one, or the New Hope, where it was like he was a god unto his unto the story, and he didn't want anybody else to control it. But sometimes you need other people to control it, not you, because your vision just is crappy at times. Your just vision is just junk,
right? And
that's why you need to okay, I'll let you do that.
Right. Sure. I'm sure he has the vision in his head, but he's just like, I can't do it. I've got to have people to do it for me, but they still have to listen to me because who's financing it? I'm giving you the money. I'm writing your paychecks.
Yeah, exactly. And so, Carrie Fisher, you put on that gold bikini.
That's very true.
Hey, can I just tie this to a little sports talk here? Yeah. This is why the Cowboys suck, because Jerry Jones writes the checks and nobody goes against him.
You can't just say Jerry Jones. You have to also say or the Cowboys. You have to also say Dan Snyder of the Redskins.
Yeah.
Who does a crappy job with it. But you also have great owners like Robert Kraft.
Right, Robert Kraft.
Robert Kraft does a great job being like, okay, you do whatever you need to do. I don't care. I just do it. Paul Allen does a good job for the most part with the Seattle Seahawks, where it's like, man, I just want a good product. You do what you need to do and all that stuff. Yes, there is some problem with meddling. Al Davis ruined. Like, he helped build the Raiders up to what they were until like the 80s. And then that's when he kind of he started being a little bit crazy, conspiracy theories and all this stuff. And then, in the 90s, until he passed away, it was like, dude, you're weird.
Yeah,
you are so weird.
His family's not much better.
No, yeah. His son is crazy. And so it's there's opportunity. He should have, and Jerry Jones should do the same thing. I'm going to give it to somebody else. I'm okay with being a president, but his ego is so much too bad.
Ego.
And like with Michael Jackson and Elvis Presley too, and them, and then J.K. Rowling.
Yep.
Ego. That's the problem with not giving your story to other people.
Right. And letting the professionals do what their profession is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think you can still have a vision. I think George Lucas can have a vision.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have to be the story writer. He doesn't have
the emperor.
The script. Yeah. Yeah.
He's the emperor.
He just needs to
control everything.
Yeah.
And I think it would have, I don't know.
So
the story would
Can
have
he
been better.
listen to his own movies? I mean, his story? Like, you're the emperor.
Yes. This could have been a better movie.
Oh, yeah.
It could have.
There's always more potential for this one.
Yeah.
Because you had a great movie, and you had a pretty good movie, or like one of the better movies in Empire Strikes Back, and then you followed up with Return of the Jedi. My favorite line in X-Men 3, the latest one. I don't know. Can't remember.
Talking about
the
Apocalypse.
Yeah, Apocalypse, where they go to this movie and they say, "Oh, the third one always sucks." And that one is the best line because you have Return of the Jedi, but it's in the third movie of theirs, and it's like, yes, it always does suck.
So, people who, when they were adults, saw this, they didn't like it.
Yeah,
I like it because I saw it when I was a kid.
yeah,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I never understood the Ewok thing, why people hated Ewoks, because I saw it when I was a kid too.
Because they were teddy bears.
Yeah.
When you could, I don't know
Vicious teddy bears.
I don't know how this ever leaked. It was supposed to be Wookiees.
Oh.
Well, I was reading
It
some
should have been Wookiees.
fandom stuff about Wookiees and the Ewoks, and they were and they're actually blah 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 blah. So
Are Wookiees evolution of Ewoks?
Yeah, is that that's
No?
No.
They don't crossbreed with somebody to make them Wookiees?
No.
Hey, I'm just asking.
No, that's ludicrous.
That's ludicrous.
Wait for George Lucas. It's
Yeah.
not. It is not ludicrous.
My vision
could
is
work.
these little dudes. They're
Turn to
really
Wookiees.
Wookiees, but
No.
they've
Really
evolved.
Wicked is the great grandpa of Chewbacca.
No. No.
Or
Grandson.
No.
the great grandson
No.
of Chewbacca.
No.
It could be. George Lucas
No.
has,
No.
It doesn't
He's
make
losing
sense.
it.
But it
No.
could.
No. That's a nope. I'm going to
may-
nope right out of that.
You may say no, but we know the truth. It
Nope.
is the great grandson of Chewbacca.
No. No.
Hey, just this is a valid argument with it because of George Lucas and what he thinks. Sometimes it could be.
But it's not.
It's not, but it could be.
But it's not.
It could be.
But it's not.
I get it, but it could.
But
be.
it's not.
So what is it? Any theories on it or actual?
No, he didn't have the budget to do
De-evolution.
the Wookiees, so he went with smaller.
Smaller people running around in
Yeah.
teddy bear costumes.
Yep.
Because they're cheap.
Cheaper.
No, I'm not sure they were cheaper. I think it was cheaper for the costumes.
Is it because Harrison Ford called them just big monkeys?
Didn't he call them dogs? Who called them dogs? It's like a dog.
I don't know.
I think it's Hamill. But whatever.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, I find them quite terrifying. I don't know why people would be like, oh, they're all friendly.
No.
Small doesn't mean friendly. Small doesn't mean
Yeah.
cute.
Remember when they're playing the drums? They have helmets of.
And what did they do with all those stormtroopers they killed? Because they were going to roast, Han over a spit.
That's true.
They're not.
So
They're meat eaters.
that tells you
They're not cute and
They
cuddly.
didn't have a problem with disposing of the bodies.
So really, people shouldn't have been angry at them, angry at George Lucas for having Ewoks because they are deep down vicious people.
Yes.
Vicious creatures.
Vicious creatures. And
Yeah.
the only reason they're nice to our heroes is because Luke makes them
Makes
think
C-3PO float.
Fly.
Yeah, they have
Fly.
a gold guy.
Yeah,
He's
that
3PO being
he's
gold guy.
the god.
I love it when he's like, tell him to let us go. And he says, oh, they don't believe me. wait, they think you're the god, but now they don't believe you.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand, and then it plays into Luke, but that kind of made me mad.
It inside the original trilogy, it has the best aerial of dogfight.
Yeah.
The attack on the second Death Star is... It's a trap! But, it's so good.
Yeah.
And the only one that can beat it now is Rogue One.
As the
Yeah.
best.
Because you go watch A New Hope, and the attack on the Death Star is cool.
Yeah.
It's just not as good as Return of the Jedi and the snow speeder fight against the AT-ATs. It's okay, but it's nowhere near as good as Return of the Jedi.
What do you think of the fighting of the newer ones?
Of
like the TIE fighters and all that stuff.
you're talking in like The Force Awakens and
yeah, they're okay.
They're
compared
okay
to these ones. I'm just wondering because those ones are like Return of the Jedi, and those ones are really good. But like the special effects, and they're a little bit more involved. There's a little bit more, But
so what was awesome about the original trilogy before it was remastered is there were actual ships flying around.
Yeah.
They were small toys,
but they were ships.
but they were actually there.
Yeah.
Now,
It's all computer animated.
Yeah.
Digital.
Digital. We'll get to the prequels and all that, but
that's the same thing. Like with when comparing The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. Mm-hmm. Lord of the Rings, people were there. They used real props. They did that, and so it's real.
They actually built a model of Gondor,
and then you come to The Hobbit, which is okay, but it's all computer animated.
Yeah,
all computer animated. And there's nothing else, and so it's like, all right, it's not that great. Whatever, you know what I mean? Yeah. So like the difference between them, like. Computer animation.
That's what Industrial Light and Magic was practical effects, and then they turned into this weird
computer animated
computer thing. And you only see bad CGI.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
In
episode 1, 2, and 3.
In the remastered, you can see a lot of CGI.
A lot of it.
Jedi rocks. What was the matter with the original singer in Return of the Jedi at Jabba's palace? She's just a puppet and she's singing.
Yeah.
And she looked real.
Yeah, because she was.
Yeah, exactly. But in the remastered, Jedi rocks, which is the most... George Lucas!
George Lucas, you suck.
Like, what? Honestly, what were they thinking?
Well, it's more of like George Lucas. Like I think we've talked about it in our own, just off camera and off podcast, where it's like it's like, it's a new toy. It's a new toy. I'm going to use this new shiny new toy, and I'm going to make it. I want my vision. This is what I want, and it overwhelmed him, and he just did things. And I think a lot of times it became more about the money too with him, where it was like
the toys,
and then but also the remaster stuff, because you as a Star Wars fan,
yeah, I know.
I was going to buy the one. Is going to buy 4, 5, and 6, the original. But then, what about the gold edition? I got to get the gold edition because he added like 20 seconds of this in the film. So I got to watch this 20 seconds. So I'm going to buy the gold edition. And then he comes out. You have DVDs. Platinum edition. You got to buy platinum edition. And then DVDs. I got to buy DVDs because I have, no. Blu-ray. Yep. I got to have, and then because of digital stuff too. Wait, hold on. Do I want to go Blu-ray? Do I want to keep like going in, switching? Or do I just want to go digital? I'm going to buy digital because I just can click a button. And how much, I do iTunes. I don't know how much it is on Amazon. But the 6 movies, 1 through 6, If you don't get them at a discount, it's $100, which is okay. But that's $100 there, and then you're spending $40, $50, $60, $70 on the Blu-ray and the DVD and
the Steelbook editions.
Yes. So you're just like, because you're so involved in this story, I'm going to give this to you.
I'm not. I'm common sense.
No, I
have more common sense than
but
that.
Some people,
I had them recorded from the TV.
Smart, which is smart.
And I wanted to be an Ewok so bad.
Well, I'm waiting for the ultra high def 4Ks to come out.
Yes.
I keep looking it up. Somebody keeps saying that it's supposed to be coming soon. Maybe they're going to remaster it in ultra high def 4K
And get rid of some of the stupid stuff?
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
It's
never
going to be
happen.
HDR. It's going to come out in Dolby Vision.
And they get rid of the Jedi Rocks monstrosity.
Yeah, they'll never do that.
No, they got to. Mickey, listen to me. You gots to get rid of that part.
I don't think they will.
Come on, Mickey Mouse.
You never know.
Yeah, you never know.
But like, I don't know. It's just so. I think it has been the weight of the money a lot of times with George before Disney took over, and then Disney, of course, is going to be Disney, and they're going to try and make. They're going to make as much money as they're going to screw over the fans just as much as George did.
Do you want to know what's scary?
What?
Do you know who the number one shareholder is in Disney stock?
No way. Really?
That's really confirmed. You confirmed that? Oh, man.
Wow.
George Lucas?
He took the money that Disney paid him when he sold them the studio, bought stock in Disney.
Whoa. Well, that's not good.
Why do you think there's a Star Wars land in Disneyland now?
That's crazy.
See,
I didn't know that. No.
That's the problem with George. That's the problem with J.K. Rowling. That was the problem with Elvis. That was the problem with Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
The weight of them, the weight of what they did on their own, and they sold themselves into it. They became, like you said, gods in their own story.
Mm.
Yeah. It doesn't. You're not grounded. You're just not grounded.
Yeah.
And reality is like, dude, no.
Yeah. So part of the Legends book series, the one that Disney, after Disney bought it, there's a story in between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. Was called Shadows of the Empire, and the story was released in 3 different parts: a comic book, a video game, and a novel.
You had to have all 3 of those to get the story?
No, I just read the novel.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have a Super Nintendo, so I couldn't play the game.
Yeah.
Darn.
And I didn't have money to buy the comic books. I had money to buy one book.
Yeah.
So the novel told the story of the main characters: Lando, Princess Leia, Chewbacca, Luke.
Yeah.
And it's interesting how the author of that book led them into the events of Return of the Jedi.
Oh.
And then the video game followed a character that pops in and out of the novel called Dash Rendar.
Yeah.
And then the comic book followed Boba Fett and IG-88 in their battle over trying to keep Han Solo.
Oh.
Wow.
That's cool.
Yeah. And I would recommend everybody read it if you're a Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
In between when you watch the movies, because it just leads so perfectly into Return of the Jedi. Where does Leia get that bounty hunter's outfit and the bomb that she threatens to blow up Jabba's palace?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, see. I went to Barnes & Noble at some point, and I do read graphic novels, so comic books, but I just call them what they are, graphic novels. They're great. I love them. I've learned more about them in college, and that's what got me into them.
Yeah.
Well, besides you.
Yeah.
But, you helped me with it, but also, that bringing in them teaching me, too, about it. And it's I read a Vader one, and they talked about how Vader came and talked to Jabba, the night before of something, and he was going to come back the next day, and they were working out a deal. I wasn't able to read the rest of it, but it was like, whoa, what?
Yeah.
This is interesting.
So,
because it makes you want to read more about that story, makes you want to understand it a bit more, that sort of thing.
So Legends got crazy.
Yeah.
But there's some stuff that they shouldn't have got rid of.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And we'll be talking about that more later.
Definitely a lot more later. But yeah. Okay. So, with...
Can I give you another?
Yeah.
Jake, what was the movie going to be named?
Revenge of the Jedi.
Revenge of the Jedi.
Revenge of the Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
Do we know why it got changed back to what it is now?
Because George felt that revenge was a harsh word for a Jedi.
That is correct.
That a Jedi wouldn't seek revenge.
Nope, a Jedi would not seek revenge.
Because that's hate. Right?
Yes.
And that leads to the dark side.
That leads to the dark side.
But Luke does go over to the dark side almost.
No. So it's interesting. His story arc, his costumes in each movie reflect where he is.
Oh,
he wears white.
He was white in his
yeah.
first one.
He wears gray.
Yeah.
Most of the time. In Empire Strikes Back, and he wears black.
Wow.
In Return of the Jedi.
So are you?
I did not pick up on
would
that.
that just say that he is closer to the dark side?
He is closer to the dark side than at any other point, but he still rejects it.
Which is interesting that he has to be close to still see it and then reject it.
When
you know
he cuts off his father's robotic hand and he sees it, he snaps out of it.
He does snap out of being filled with hate because Leia, he's like, "Oh, sister, I'm going to get Leia." You know, Darth Vader says, "I'm going to get Leia."
Yeah.
And then he goes crazy, like angry crazy.
Angry crazy.
And then he sees that, and then he stops and he's like, "Nope, you failed. You failed."
It was the Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi.
Instead of the Revenge, because he stopped.
Huh.
Want know another little quick fun fact?
Yeah.
The posters that they sold.
Jake,
go ahead. Do you want to talk about the posters?
Yeah.
They had the wrong lightsaber colors.
Oh, they did?
Luke Skywalker had a red lightsaber, and Darth Vader had a green one.
Oh, man.
Were these the ones that had Revenge still on it?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh.
Do you know how many those posters were sold?
I don't.
All of them were.
6,500 posters. So they started putting them out, and then they were like, "Oh crap, but they had already printed 6,500."
Yeah.
So George Lucas said, "Hey, we're going to sell them to Star Wars fan clubs," and they sold each poster for $9.50. So
how much is those worth now?
Not a lot.
Not a lot, because they're still 6,500.
There's a lot of them out there.
Original posters currently, as of today, are going on eBay for $5,000 or more.
So
I don't know if they're being sold.
The reason I say not a lot is because
There's 6,500 of them out there.
Yeah.
I saw an episode of Pawn Stars where a guy brought it in.
Yeah.
Oh,
And they offered him like $3,000.
Really?
still.
I
He
mean,
did-
that
did
would
he
be
take
awesome for me. He said no
Oh, yeah, I would take.
because he thought it was worth a lot more than that.
Of course he did.
Of course.
That's probably one of his that we're looking at on eBay today.
Yes, yeah.
He was,
$5,000.
They were talking. This one guy that I ran into at work at one of my jobs. He said, he's like, "Hey," we were talking about hoarders
Oh yeah.
and like getting into hoarders places, and because I was telling him like, "Oh yeah, I found all this stuff at a hoarder place, right?" And he's like, "Oh, have you ever seen Captain America Fights the Nazis?" comic
Yes,
book?
I have.
He found one supposedly,
Oh,
and he has it. He showed it to Stanley. They authenticized it or whatever, and he's
I
like,
can't say the word.
he it's like it's in a safe deposit box. He's like, I never bring it out because it's like worth millions of dollars. Like it's worth a lot of money, and you're just like, oh. And then he said he found it in, like, some guy was selling a big box of them, and he just it's like, okay, you can
Picked
buy
them
the
all out.
box
For $50. Yeah.
whatever, how much
Right.
ever money, and that's where he found it, and you're just like,
Yeah.
like just that sort of thing. So it's like that's what it kind of reminded me of, but at the same time, like there's a lot of that stuff out there, and so it's not
Yeah.
gonna be. If it was like 4 or 5, it'd be selling for a lot more money.
Yeah, way more money.
Way more money if it was that much.
Yeah.
So in 2011, the camera, the RE35-3 is what it's called, that they used in A New Hope.
Yeah.
That sold in 2011 for $850,000. A camera.
Yeah,
A
that's
camera.
you see, because it was the one.
It was
It
the
was
camera.
one camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Although I would like one of those posters, I'm not paying $5,000 for it.
No.
Well, you can buy the remade posters of them. They were going for $4.95 on eBay.
Oh, so they remade those? Remade the misprints or remade
the Revenge.
Hey, I can still sell this. I'm George Lucas.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like Harrison Ford really wanted Han Solo to die in this.
Yes, he did.
Why? Well, I know he hates the character, but is that the main reason? But like, if you look in this movie,
He felt it was the final story of Han Solo, where his
death.
story was complete.
yeah, I could see that. This one, it like in the with that 7
Force Awakens.
Force Awakens, yes, like. What is the character arc of Han Solo? He's doing the same thing he did before of hustling, of being that under guy, and then it's like, what else can he do? There's nothing else like the story
He's a
arc.
good pilot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good pilot,
That's
and he
it.
hustles, and that's his life. And if you really think about it, is that I would think the lifespan of a person living like that probably shouldn't live that long anyway.
Oh no, it shouldn't. He shouldn't have lived that long
No.
at all.
But toy sales would have been hurt
Yes.
by Han Solo dying.
Or it could have been even raised up because of the death of Han Solo.
No. George Lucas is like, no. Sorry. Now,
Well, I know
I-
he said no, but
I somewhat agree with George Lucas in this
that
because
he shouldn't die.
his life trajectory got changed when he shot the TIE fighters out of chasing Luke in A New Hope. And he
Okay.
fell in love with a princess, and he became a commander in the
Right.
rebel
rebellion,
forces. And so his life got changed.
Yep, it did.
Okay. Yeah, I can
But
see your reasoning.
I still think George Lucas kept him for a stupid reason.
Yeah.
Because even he could have died in a commanding sort of,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like he could have died honorably that way.
Because he killed off Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Who is quite possibly the best villain in Hollywood history.
I was actually thinking of that. Really? You think so?
I think so.
Why?
Yeah.
Why is he the best villain in Hollywood history?
Name the second best villain. Well, you couldn't even name it that quick, so
Yeah.
that's what's so hard.
No, I'm just wondering. Like
No,
I would
like-
say he is probably one of the more iconic villains. But yeah, I'm just wondering why your thinking is that, or of other people.
I think Mike made my point perfectly.
Okay.
Lex Luthor. No. Exactly. The
So-
Joker.
Can't do it.
No.
Hannibal Lecter.
That's pretty
That's a pretty bad dude.
pretty freaky.
Yeah. But Darth Vader is more iconic than
Oh, yeah.
any of them.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
because everybody it's
You
the
go like this,
Yeah.
everybody knows. Everybody.
Even if it isn't like you can watch movies, like I'm kind of agreeing with you on it, but it's like I just wanted to ask.
Yeah.
Okay. But like watching movies when they just do it a little bit and they do that, you're just like, oh, Darth Vader.
Vader.
That's the first thing you think of is like when somebody does that, Darth Vader. Mm-hmm. And yes, I think my main reason why he would be the best is not because of these 3 films, not because of this one, but because of Rogue One at the end.
But
that fight of it. Right.
But even before that,
yeah,
he was on the tops of lists all over the place.
Mm-hmm. Well,
and this was out. This was before the prequels and all that. I believe the AFI said he was the number 1 film villain.
I would agree. Like, I'm going to agree, but like the part that made it for me more real and like, yeah, totally, is at the end of Rogue One where he just lays waste to everybody. Yeah. That to me was like, yes, that is awesome. He is the worst villain in the world. And then like all of that stuff, I think it made it more.
I'll talk more about that when we talk about Rogue One.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Return of the Jedi, cliffhanger, key moment, and scene stealer.
Okay.
Cliffhanger. After struggling to bring Darth Vader to the light side, Luke must decide whether to kill his father. I don't understand that as a cliffhanger.
I don't think there is a cliffhanger in this.
Yeah. And I agree.
All the stories, every question was answered in this movie until George Lucas made the prequels.
Yeah. Key moment, Darth Vader kills Emperor Palpatine in order to save his son Luke. I could see that. Scene stealer. Wait, hold on a time.
The Ewoks.
Well, no, actually, it's Luke Skywalker, the farm boy turned Jedi reconciles with Father Anakin, a.k.a. Darth Vader, and bonds with Sister Leia, Princess Leia.
Ewoks.
I would agree. Ewoks.
I raise you Ewoks.
I agree. Okay. Oh, wait, time out.
Oh no.
Now,
what's going on
with the Emperor? Because he's the whatever the key moment is when he kills the Emperor, right? Mm-hmm. And then the Death Star gets blown up. How does?
No, it shows
Emperor Palpatine alive still. And then they have the blow up.
We'll talk about it.
Well, I know.
So wait, are you going to explain that falling for me?
Because that falling, you have the explosion, so you're like, okay, he is dead. And then,
the Death Star was not a complete.
No, it wasn't.
City.
I agree.
Station.
Yes,
right.
Yes.
Yeah. And before Disney bought Star Wars, that's how a Sith Lord dies, is they explode, where a Jedi disappears.
Like Yoda.
Okay,
Yoda. Like Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan.
Yep.
Okay.
So that, I can explain it Legends way. I can't really explain it canon way. How is he still alive?
There's no canon way of explaining it, right?
How is he still alive to be in the trailer for the new one? I don't know. I think it's a clone.
Clone? That would make,
I guess we're going to have to wait and see because maybe that will give you a clue to understand.
The first teaser trailer for, what's this one being called?
Rise of Skywalker?
Rise of Skywalker. I could not figure out why they had the Joker laughing at the end.
The Joker?
But no, it's Palpatine.
Yeah. Okay, is there anything else?
No.
No?
Okay.
Ewoks are awesome.
Ewoks are. The blanket. The blanket.
Look, he's got a red lightsaber. I just saw that. Right there.
I know. There. Awesome.
Wow.
I don't know if anybody else has a blanket like this, but maybe. You never know.
Didn't your mom make that for you?
My grandma did.
Okay. So probably...
She said it was the ugliest thing she ever saw.
So,
But Dave likes Star Wars.
what color is R2-D2?
He's blue and white.
Now, what does that show?
Kind of gray and...
What are the colors?
Oh, it's orange.
Yeah, it's not even blue.
Yeah, the two things on front are blue.
Yeah. Huh. Crazy.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm going to love this blanket even more.
It's probably worth $1 million.
Bunch of pee stains on it.
Pee stains on it.
Terrible thing to tell, but yep. It's probably some pee stains.
Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible. Let's end this.
Okay, please rate, please subscribe, and please leave a comment of what you think.
Not about the
podcast.
pee blanket.
But about the podcast episode. Have a great day, guys.